Okay. Um, we're still talking about quadratic equations. Now, instead of giving a graph and having to identify what the quadratic equation is, we're going to be given an equation and we're going to have to draw the graph. Now, like last lesson, you had to find the axis of symmetry and the vertex of a graph that's already there. Well, we're going to do the same thing. We're just going to kind of work backwards. We're going to develop that vertex and axis of symmetry, and then from there, we're going to pick a point and then plot its corresponding point, and then that way we can see kind of the shape of that this graph needs to take. So alright, so with this we have y equals 2x squared minus 4. In order to graph this, we need to know the vertex. Just like with an absolute value equation, we had to find the vertex. So with quadratic equations, we also need to find the vertex. And like we already know how to do this, or like I showed you, your vertex, well, the axis of symmetry is x equals opposite b over 2a. This also gives you the x coordinate of your vertex. So we need to know what each of those terms are. So if I was looking at the standard form of a quadratic equation, it would be y equals ax squared plus bx plus c. Okay, so a is the coefficient of our quadratic term, which we already know, b is the coefficient of our linear term, and c is the constant term. So here, we don't have a b term, so the coefficient we have to know is 0. So really, this could be rewritten as y equals 2x squared plus 0x minus 4. Some of you might say, well, why isn't it minus 0x? It can be, it doesn't matter, because positive 0 and negative 0 are the exact same thing. So when we use this, opposite b, well, it's still going to be 0 over 2 times our a term, which is 2. So it's 0 over 4, which really we didn't even have to do, because 0 divided by anything will be 0. So the x coordinate is 0. To find our y coordinate, we take 0, plug it into our original equation, and see what y equals. So we have y equals 2 times 0 squared minus 4. Now this we have to follow the order of operations. Because it's 0, it doesn't affect it too much. But 0 squared, we have to do the exponent first. 0 squared is 0. 0 times 2 is still 0. 0 minus 4 is negative 4. So we have the vertex of 0, negative 4. So let's plot that. So there is our vertex, 0, negative 4. And then just like with absolute value equations, to see what the other point is that we need to graph, we just plug a value in and figure it out that way. So let's say, or plug an x coordinate in and figure it out that way. It doesn't matter if we pick one to the right or to the left, or how many we pick, because if we pick one to the right, we can easily find its corresponding point from, like we learned last lesson. So let's say x equals, I'll go 1. Alright, so I plug 1 in, so that's 2 times 1 squared minus 4. Well, 1 squared is 1, 1 times 2 is 2, 2 minus 4 is negative 2. So that ordered pair is 1, negative 2. So let's plot that. 1, negative 2. And then its corresponding point would also be, it would be negative 1, negative 2, because this is also one distance away from our vertex, or 1 unit away from our vertex, and it's at the same y value. And then you could draw it like this, but right here it kind of looks like an absolute value, so it looks like you could draw a V. But we know with all parabola, or with all quadratic equations, it's a parabola, which is a U shape. So let's pick another point. I'm going to say x equals negative 2, and let's plug that in. I think, actually, I'll say positive 2. And let's plug that in. I'm pretty sure that's what I did on your notes. So we'll have 2 times 2 squared minus 4. Again, do the exponent first. So 2 squared is 4. 4 times 2 is 8. 8 minus 4 is 4. So we have the ordered pair of 2, 4 that we can plot. So that's 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's here. Now, I'm gonna erase this one. We can also graph its corresponding point, because this is 2 to the right, it'd be 2 to the left, and it'd be the same distance on the y plane. So it'd be up here at -2, +4. And now we can graph our parabola, our U shape. So it comes up through those points. And when you graph them, I'll have you label those points. So this, like we already established, is 2, 4. This was 1, -2. Our vertex, 0, -4, and so forth. But that's how you graph that. And we're going to do one more example here next.